Did you know that there's actually 7 different stages of a long distance relationship? If you're in a long distance relationship, then you want to know exactly where along you are so that you can determine what is going to happen next emotionally and also locationally. Well, in this video, I want to talk about that in depth. As somebody who was in a long distance relationship with my husband for over 4 years, I completely understand what it's like to go through these range of emotions, wondering if you're doing the right thing and if it's going to be worth it at the end. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee Slansky and I'm a professional dating and relationship coach. Now I want to talk about long distance relationships because they are something that are really common nowadays, more so than ever, because we're able to meet someone through online and social media in different states or countries. So when you embark on a long distance relationship, there are a couple of things that you need to know. And I have actually done another video on that, which you can check out here, which you can have a look at to make sure that you're making the right decision and that you're mentally and emotionally prepared for what will follow if you do get into a long distance relationship with someone. However, in this video, I do want to talk about those 7 stages. So before I do that, don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my long distance relationship videos that I have coming out. The first stage is this: dedication. When you meet someone and you fall in love, you become attached to them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you are all in the beginning. And being apart from each other may seem like an awful thing. However, you're both committed to making it work. You have this sense of dedication to the relationship. You are committed to trying to give this your best. The emotions are really strong at this point because you've only just started the relationship and you've only just parted at this point. So the second stage after that is number 2, longing, where basically once you realize, okay, we're going to be apart from each other for quite some time before we can see each other again, and then this is going to be a repetitive thing, you start to long for them. You start to crave them and miss them, even more so if you've actually been physically intimate with them because you have created a bond. And this longing basically puts you in this place emotionally where you ache for that person. It's almost like they become your drug and you really want to be with them because they're not physically in the same room as you, when you're not sharing that energy as you were before. This overwhelming sense of needing to have them right then and there is what we call longing, and is definitely going to be something that you're going to feel more than once. So that then leads to stage number 3, and that is doubting. When you have gone through a certain period of longing for that person, wishing that you could be together, wishing that they didn't live so far away, wishing that things were easier, it starts to put a couple of doubts in your mind. Is this worth it? Is it going to work out? Am I doing the right thing? Doubts start to creep in because we don't necessarily have the answers that we want, because we don't have a normal type of relationship where we can see that person continually every day or every week. What is important in this stage is that you don't allow your doubts to rule your actions and words every single time. It's normal to have any sort of doubts in a relationship. However, in this period, which is reinforced by the fact that you are separate from each other, the level of doubt that you have will probably be higher than other relationships where you're actually able to be in the same place with each other. Then that'll bring us to level 4. Level 4 is where you start to test one another. And that's because all these doubts are creeping in, you're missing the person, you can't be there with them. So what you're going to do is you're going to test them. You're going to see how dedicated they are, or you're going to see what sort of response that you can get from them. If you're in a long distance relationship, because you can't have that continuous weekly interaction with each other as you would in a normal normal relationship, it's almost like you want a reaction from them. There's a lot of emotions going around, there's a lot of ups and downs because you aren't able to be there with them, and that basically produces frustration. And unfortunately, that leads to putting them to the test. Maybe you are testing them in the way of not responding as much. Maybe you're testing them by saying a couple of things and seeing how they react to it. Either way, causing drama in a long distance relationship isn't going to solve your frustration. The best thing to do if you are feeling frustrated is not to test them, but to communicate how you feel and see where they are with you. Now, this then leads to the fifth stage, and the fifth stage is conflict. Obviously, if there is a lot of frustration that isn't being talked about or not getting resolved, then it's going to start to build inside you, whether it is resentment for the person or the situation that you're in, whether it is just purely the longing that you have for them, which is banking up all these emotions inside of you. At one point, both of you, even if you are in a healthy long distance relationship, will experience conflict. Now, conflict is normal in a relationship anyway. However, when you're in a long distance relationship, because the communication is harder, because you can't be there to share energies with each other, you are likely to be able to enter into moments of conflict which become harder to resolve because of the distance that you have. So what you need to do in those moments of conflict is just take time to choose to pause and then respond rather than react. It's going to be hard. A long distance relationship isn't easy. And when you have conflict in the midst of that long distance relationship, you can't allow your emotions to be carried away, or that resentment or that anger or that frustration, to a point where it just continues to divide you over the division that you already have. And number six, stage 6 of a long distance relationship is desperation, where you would do anything and everything to be able to be with that person. That's usually like when you've hit the climax and then it all comes crashing down after you've had that moment of conflict where you realize how much you love them, you miss them, you just want to be with them, you want to make it work. This can unfortunately put us in a stage where we would do things that we wouldn't normally do in a relationship to try and keep that person, where we chase them, we overgive, we overinvest, and that actually pushes the other person away. It's understandable if you're both in the situation where you're desperately longing for each other and to be with each other. It can even make you question whether or not the pain is worth the outcome or what you're going through at this moment, to see if this relationship will even go the distance. Desperation makes us do dumb things. So in this moment, or in this stage of desperation, just be aware that you're not allowing your emotions to overrun what is wise if you want to be able to give this relationship a decent trial. And lastly, number 7, resolution. Eventually, you're going to have to come to the full circle and make up your mind about what is going to happen next. If you're in a long distance relationship, I can tell you right now, it isn't going to get easier. Yes, you adjust, but eventually you're going to hit a point where you need to be able to move forward. One of you has to be able to make the compromise of moving and the other one, or moving together. You know, either way, usually it's one person makes a little bit more sacrifice than the other. However, either way, there needs to be some sort of resolution that allows you to be able to build this relationship together in the same place, the same city, the same country, so that you can actually have a unified life. Having a long distance relationship doesn't mean that it is impossible. However, the goal of a healthy relationship is always to be able to be together so that you can be on the same page, growing together, sharing experiences and life together, instead of feeling that you're building these two separate different lives and trying to make them fit with one another. Guys, that is the 7 stages of a long distance relationship, and I want you to tell me in the comments below, what stage do you believe that you're at right now? And if you have reached the final stage of resolution, what is it that you're going to do? What have you and your partner decided to do? Have you decided to keep it going? Have you decided to end it? Have you got an ultimatum or a date in mind that you're finally able to move or be with each other? Let us know down below, because I know that a lot of my followers out there are in long distance relationships. And don't forget, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.